Imagine a world where the familiar hum of human activity has suddenly ceased. The sky remains a familiar shade of blue, and the wind still whispers through the leaves of the trees. But something profound has shifted. The countless threads that weave together our global civilization have been cut, leaving behind a world poised for a great transformation. This is not a story of disaster or loss, but rather a quiet observation of what comes next. It is a journey into a future without us, where nature, patient and persistent, begins the slow and steady process of reclaiming what was once its own. We will follow this journey using a countdown from 10 to 0, marking the passage of time from mere moments to vast millennia. Each step in our countdown will reveal another layer of this silent metamorphosis. We will witness how quickly the artificial systems we rely upon begin to falter, and how swiftly the natural world responds to the newfound stillness. The changes start small, almost imperceptibly, in the sudden silence of a city street or the flicker of a dying light bulb. Then, as days turn into years and years into centuries, the changes become monumental. Concrete jungles will give way to lush green canopies, and the scars we have left upon the landscape will slowly begin to heal. The tone of our exploration will remain calm and reflective, accompanied by the gentle sounds of a world returning to itself. 10. The first hour. In the immediate aftermath, the world falls into an unfamiliar quiet. The most immediate effect is the loss of power. Within minutes, electrical grids begin to fail. Automated safety systems kick in at power plants without human oversight. Cities that once blazed with light are plunged into darkness as night falls. Inside our homes, the hum of refrigerators ceases. Thermostats no longer click on to maintain a comfortable temperature. The silence is punctuated by fading echoes of our world. A few stray car alarms wail until their batteries die. Automated announcements repeat in an empty airport terminal. Pets left behind become the first sentient beings to notice our absence. Dogs might wait by the door, listening for footsteps that will never come. Cats begin to prowl with a heightened sense of alertness. Outside, the world of machinery grinds to a halt. Trains coast to a stop on their tracks. Cars sit motionless on highways, forming silent, metallic rivers. Massive container ships drift at sea, their engines slowly cooling. For the first hour, the planet holds its breath. 9. The first day. After a full 24 hours, the silence has deepened. The systems that support our urban lives are now beginning to truly break down. Without engineers, water pumps stop working in many areas. Pressure drops and taps run dry. Sewage systems begin to fail. Wild animals grow bolder in the new quiet. Foxes venture deeper into suburban streets. Raccoons rummage through unattended garbage. Deer move into deserted neighborhoods. Birds explore empty plazas and parks with newfound freedom. The air itself begins to change, subtly at first. With no new emissions, urban haze begins to dissipate. The sky appears a little clearer, a little bluer. Yeah, a herd of deer cautiously walking across a deserted multi-lane highway at sunrise. 9. The second day. As the first day bleeds into the second, the initial shock of stillness gives way to the first signs of active decay. The world's immense network of underground transportation, the subways and metro systems begin to flood. The powerful pumps that constantly work to keep these tunnels dry have fallen silent. Groundwater, always seeking the lowest point, seeps through cracks in the concrete walls, and rainwater cascades down stairwells. Within days, the dark tunnels begin to fill with water, transforming these feats of engineering into long, submerged caves, their tracks and platforms slowly disappearing beneath the rising murk. Above ground, the struggle for survival begins for the creatures we left behind. Domesticated animals face a difficult new reality. Many pets, trapped inside homes, will perish unless they can find a way to escape. Those that do, along with stray populations, must now compete for resources in an environment they are ill-suited for. Smaller dog breeds will struggle, while larger, more resourceful dogs may form packs, reverting to their ancestral behaviors. 7. The first month. 1 month into our absence, the process of decay accelerates. The world begins to smell different. Perishable food left in homes rots completely. Perishable food left in supermarkets rots completely. Perishable food left in warehouses rots completely. The stench of decomposition hangs heavy in the air. It attracts swarms of insects. It draws armies of rodents. Rats, no longer held in check, experience a population boom. Mice, no longer held in check, experience a population boom. They feast on the abandoned bounty. They move freely through empty buildings, exploring forgotten pantries and stock rooms, becoming a dominant force in the new urban ecosystem. Inside homes, a quieter process unfolds. Without climate control, humidity levels rise and fall. This creates the perfect breeding ground for mold. Mold spreads across walls, carpets, and colonizes furniture. Leaks let rainwater seep in, staining ceilings and soaking floorboards. Structures weaken as moisture saturates wood and drywall. Birds discover broken windows and start nesting. Bats move into open doors and sheltered spaces. Nests appear in attics, stadiums, and abandoned warehouses, turning our architecture into animal homes. 6. The first year. After a full cycle of seasons, the Earth's appearance has changed. The planet is visibly greener from space. Agricultural fields once brown are now overrun by volunteer crops. Invasive weeds cover fields. Weather begins its relentless assault on structures. Freezing and thawing create cracks in roads. Foundations crack and crumble. Paint peels from walls. Protective coatings on steel fail and metal corrodes. Vines like ivy climb buildings. Kudzu overtakes structures. Tendrils pry into mortar and displace bricks. Vines cover street signs and statues. Symbols of civilization are cloaked in green. Gutters and drains clog with uncleaned leaves and debris. Water pools on flat roofs, adding pressure. Decay accelerates beneath pooled water. The world without us is no longer silent. Wind moves through empty streets. Rain patters on broken roofs. The growing chorus of animal life reclaims territory. 5 to 20 years. A skeletal skyscraper draped in vines. Streets below filled with mature trees. In many suburban areas, the line between a garden, a park, and a street has vanished. Young trees take root in fractured asphalt. Close up, roots pushing up through pavement, breaking from below. Wooden houses are in advanced decay. Many have lost their roofs, interiors exposed. Floors collapse, creating shelter for woodland creatures. Rusted steel bridges show peeling paint and corrosion. Expansion joints clog, cables snap, and beams buckle. First major bridges collapse into rivers, creating new rapids. Highways become impassable, overgrown corridors for wildlife. Herds of deer move along the highway. Packs of wolves traverse the same routes. 50 years. Cities look like dense, temperate jungles with concrete monoliths. Early trees are mature, canopies closing above avenues. Sunlight barely reaches the shaded, mossy street floor. Smaller buildings have collapsed. Remaining are skeletons of larger structures. These towers act like cliffs and mountains. Empty floors and ledges become nesting sites for birds of prey. A peregrine falcon hunts in the city canyon. Lightning-started fires can gut skyscrapers now. Facades crumble and fall. The world's great dams begin to fail. Decades of silt and pressure cause some to burst, restoring rivers to wild courses. 100 years. A century later, civilization's traces are being erased. Millions of wooden-framed houses are gone. Faint rectangular outlines mark foundations. Vehicles are rust-eaten shells. The surface world resembles a pre-industrial landscape again. Forests mature into diverse, stable ecosystems. Animal populations rebound dramatically. Bears, wolves, great cats. The concrete and steel cores of cities still stand, hollow, dangerous ruins. They are monuments to the enduring power of nature and time. 2. 500 to 1,000 years. The great steel bridges are gone. Their remains lie on riverbeds, forming new reefs. The last of the skyscrapers have begun to fall. Rust and weather undo their skeletons. Geography reverts to a more natural state. Rivers, freed from dams and levees, carve new channels to the sea. Former coastal cities flood. New wetlands and marshes form, teeming with life. The soil is healing. Decay builds rich topsoil over pavement. Old highways become faint ridges, then disappear under earth. 1. 10,000 years. After 10 millennia, almost all surface evidence has vanished. Old-growth forests, vast grasslands, pristine wetlands. Only solid stone might remain. The Great Pyramids weathered, Mount Rushmore eroded, the Great Wall crumbling, silent relics rising like mountains.